Hey guys, we'll start our new story for this year which called Grace Darling. We'll start from chapter 1 which called The Forfarshire. Okay, this is the cover of our story, Grace Darling, and this is a ship and some people are waving on the rock in the sea. This story took place on the afternoon of 6 September 1838. It's about the steamship Forfarshire. It started its journey from Hull to Dundee in Scotland. There were 60 people on the Forfarshire, which was a comfortable modern ship. Okay, we have some main characters in our story. First character is Daniel Donovan. He was a passenger on the Forfarshire. He was a young man about 30 years old and he was an engineer. Second character is Mr. Rob. He was a tall dark man with a black coat. And the third one is Simon. He was a small boy. He was only 5 years old. Okay, this is a picture for our ship with the Forfarshire, and we can see some big waves in the sea. Okay, Daniel Donovan was a passenger on the Forfarshire. He was a young man about 30 years old. He stood on the deck of the ship. The deck is the floor of the ship, and looked at the sea. It was difficult to stand on the deck because the wind was so strong and the ship was moving up and down uncomfortably. Then a big wave hit the side of the ship and salt water flew on Daniel's face. There was another passenger on the deck called Mr. Rob, who was a tall, dark man with a black coat. He didn't like being at the sea very much, and he looked worried. Daniel said to Mr. Rob that he can't see any land. He looked to the west, but he could see no land and no lights, only water, big grey waves with white tops which went up and down. Mr. Rob said nothing could happen to a good modern ship like the Forfarshire, and he asked Daniel Donovan to listen to the strong fine engines of the ship. Daniel looked down at the big paddle wheel on the side of the ship. Then he looked up at the black smoke that came from the Forfarshire's funnel. He wasn't sure if the engines were really good or not. He was an engineer. He knew about engines. Sometimes the Forfarshire's engines made strange noises, and the paddle wheels went round slowly. While Daniel was standing feeling the wind and rain on his face, a door opened behind him, and a woman screamed. Daniel looked behind him and saw a small boy. He was running across the deck. This boy was called Simon. He was only 5 years old. The wind was much too strong for Simon. He fell over on the deck and started to cry. Then another big wave hit the side of the ship. The water came onto the ship and carried the boy along the deck. "Help!" the woman screamed. "Save my child!" Daniel put out his hand and caught the boy's coat. Then he carried him quickly back to his mother. He hurried through the door and closed it with a crash. Okay, we have some new vocabulary in this story. First one, deck. We said that it's the floor on the ship. Second one is wave. Wave is how the sea moves. It's a hail of water in the sea. Number 3, dark. Dark is a color that is not light. It's like black. The next word is land. Land is a part of the world that is not the sea. Engine. It's a machine that makes a ship or a car moves. And the next one, paddle wheel. It's a large wheel on the side of a ship that moves through the water. And the next one, it's a smoke. Smoke is gray or black clouds from a fire. And funnel, it's a pipe on the top of a ship. Smoke from the engine comes out of it. Noise is a loud sound. Crash is a loud noise when something hits something else. Fall over, the past of it is fell over. It's to go down suddenly. And the last one is save. Save, to take someone out of danger. Okay, you have to remember these words. And now we have our homework for this story. Number 1, what was the Forfarshire? Number 2, when did the ship start its journey? And number 3, how many people were there on the Forfarshire? 4, who was Daniel Donovan? 5, why was it difficult to stand on the deck? 6, how was Mr. Rob? 7, what did Daniel see when he looked behind himself? 8, how old was the boy? 9, what happened to the boy? And number 10, what did Daniel do? Okay, goodbye from now.